Mr. Speaker, it's a mark of a failed government when nearly 2 years in they're still talking about their predecessor. How about talking about something they've done? How about talking about a plan they have? How about talking about how to make New Zealanders' lives better? But they can't because they have no plan. Mr. Speaker, Jerry Brownlee is the man who will forever, there he goes, off again.
Order.
He will forever be known
The member knows he cannot do that.
He will forever be known for Brownlee's law of holes. When in one, stop digging. But the corollary to Brownlee's law of holes is when you've stopped digging, have a plan B. And the funniest thing about this week is it's now obvious to all. There is no plan B because there never was a strategy. There is no analysis for what is fundamentally wrong with this economy and how to turn it around. And what we've seen, sir, for the last 18 months is a series of glib one-liners, of manufactured pragmatism and slipbacks. And, Mr. Speaker, it is now obvious for all New Zealanders that the Emperor has no clothes. There is no strategy, as John Key promised. There is no aggressive growth in 2010. Mr. Speaker, they promised New Zealanders a step change. They said they would do it by digging up national parks, and any idiot would have known. New Zealanders would take to the streets in their tens of thousands to defend the wilderness areas that make this country unique and that we all love. But it didn't occur to them, Mr. Speaker, and now they've had to bury the idea because it should never have been dug up. Mr. Speaker, what about the other plans? The Jobs Summit. It was a nice-sounding idea. It led to a cycleway to nowhere, Mr. Speaker, that created a few jobs and took taxpayers on a great ride. A great ride to spend millions to protect John Key's reputation. Mr. Speaker, the cycleway to nowhere, and Craig Foss is embarrassed about the cost of it. Embarrassed about the cost of it. A 9-day fortnight they cancelled in the middle of a recession, Mr. Speaker. A budget that rightly said, that rightly said the economy was imbalanced, but did nothing to solve the imbalances. Nothing to restore savings, nothing to help New Zealand companies get capital, nothing to lift exports. In fact, they are still saying we have the best monetary policy in the world, and the rest of the world's moved on, Mr. Speaker. The rest of the world's moved on, leaving them isolated and alone, dreaming of yesteryear and making up names about the previous government. Mr. Speaker, there's no plan for transforming our economy to a high-value, high-wage economy. There's no sense of urgency about getting us on a sustainable fiscal path. There is no sense of urgency about our number one long-term problem, which is paying for superannuation. They've just kicked out pre-funding for 10 years and failed to honour their promise to restore pre-funding when the books are in surplus. So how long is it going to take before New Zealanders realise they've been told a massive lie, Mr. Speaker, that you can have 65-year-old qualification with no pre-funding? The numbers don't add up, and ordinary Kiwis know it. And it's time they told the truth, sir, about that massive issue that is coming down the pike. And they are saying that young New Zealanders, Generation X and Generation Y, will be able to foot the bill. Well, Mr. Speaker, we know that when young Kiwis figure out how big the bill is going to be, that bill will be on his way out. Bill English will be on his way out, and John Key with him, and Jerry Brownlee, the king of holes, Brownlee's law of holes. When in one, stop digging, but you better have an alternative plan. And that is the problem. There never was a plan, there never was an analysis, there never was a strategy. It was a rolling maul of sound bites which has fallen flat because there was never anything behind it except marketing spin. This is a government whose marketing department rules the roost, and they forgot about ideas.
The Honourable Kate Wilkinson.
Thank you, Mr.